Good afternoon, guys. Marshall here. I'm feeling a lot better. That migraine was fun. It was actually it's a somatic result of some information I received yesterday regarding my dad. My dad would be the narcissist in my experience, and he just got engaged to a new lady, and it brought up a lot of old feelings from when he found his second wife just a few months after my mother had passed away, and what happened after that. So my buddy's like, we need your attention, and it got it that way. Just got in there and found my core need, which was freedom. I don't have to conform to the new lady's expectations. I'm an adult. I'm not an 11-year-old anymore. Use the closure technique to get some relief on that and restructure it. So now today we have live Q&A. And guys, thank you again for the support in that post and here in the group with each other, how we've been showing up for each other and supporting each other. I appreciate that, because that's our big goal here. My big goal is that we experience genuine love, support, companionship in this journey outside of codependency and back to our own sanity. So we've got 7 questions today for our live Q&A. So let's jump into it. Okay, so question 1 is, how can I end negative or intrusive thoughts before they begin to escalate and become unstoppable, ruining your entire day? The trick with thoughts, it's a challenge here. 1, we need to understand that thoughts are not facts, okay? That means we can respond to our thinking and our thoughts as though we observe it. It's like, ooh, that's just a thought. It's not a fact, it's not reality, it's not the truth, it's just a thought. Now, intrusive thoughts are thoughts that come in that we don't want. They're painful, they're disturbing, they're disrupting. They trigger other things like, anxiety, rumination, a desire to control or prevent that possibility. And typically, those are thoughts that are signaling unmet or unresolved trauma in the background, unmet needs that are very, very loud. So one of the most effective ways we can treat negative and intrusive thoughts is to actually resolve our trauma, get closure on that trauma, and start meeting our needs. And I have 2 processes for that. The first process is specifically about trauma. That would be the closure technique that I teach in the Get Closure Now 6-week training that is open for enrollment right now. So that resonates with you. You want closure on your trauma. You want relief from it. You want your peace back. You want to rediscover yourself or actually find yourself for the first time. Closure technique is going to get you there. So you need to apply for that 6-week class, because it's the last time this year. I'll be offering it. The next one will be in January of 2020. So this is your chance for that. The other tool would be the nurture process that I'm running guinea pigs through. And tonight we have our 2nd class. And then once I see what the results are, which they've currently, from what I've been receiving from them, it's been very strong technique. Then I'll open it up for round 2, and you can jump in and experience how to comfort your nervous system using that process so that your rumination and your obsessive thoughts stop. The third option you can do in that is regulate. Now, regulation is this, it's partly this. It's where we take our finger and we just lightly stroke our palm or on the underside of our forearm and allow our mind and body just to focus on that sensation. What this does is it creates a neurological disruption between your mind and the thought, your mind and the experience, your mind and what is going on for you, and calms the nervous system, calms the amygdala, gets it out of its fear state or in the danger response back into a calm state. And this isn't make-believe. This technique comes from a man named Mark Waldman, and he has tested this under fMRI machines and found that it works. You can actually see it in the brain functioning that way. So this is step 1 of the regulation process that I teach. And that right there, I mean, even right now, it's calming me down. So, excitement on that one. So becoming triggered, you really got to regulate the nervous system from its alert state, its high state of arousal, down back to its calm, open state. But it is a good signal that there's trauma lurking in the background. So you want to look at one of those 3 options and get that done. Question number 2, how can I begin to fix and automatically see progress in my own self-confidence? Your confidence does not need fixing. We don't fix ourselves. We're not broken. There is nothing wrong with us. say that again. You're not broken. You do not need fixing. There's nothing wrong with you. What you are experiencing is a natural result of neglect and abuse. Your response to it, becoming codependent and insecure, is the fawn response. That's what the brain has chosen to deal with the threat of being discarded, the threat of neglect, the threat of being invisible, ignored, denied, starved of love. This is why you don't need fixing. What you need is nurture. You need emotional nurture, and technically you need what I call release. Release of the shame, release of the negativity. We need to reshape how you see yourself. We need to reorient you from a shame-based orientation, what's called the governing value. We need to shift that from shame to love. We accomplish that through the Codependency to Confidence system in its first training called HEAL. That is designed to shift that value from shame to love. Then your confidence starts to grow from there, because you start realizing that your value isn't based on your output, because we're not dealing with a consumer-supply relationship anymore where our value is dependent on somebody else's approval based on what we did for them. Instead, our value becomes oriented in our existence, our beingness. Then we're able to reconnect to ourselves, to our value, and to others honestly and openly. That way we get a reciprocal relationship or connection-centered relationship, okay? That's what we need to do. Step 2 in Codependency Confidence helps you accomplish that by healing our connection and our what's called attachment injury, and that eliminates the internalized loneliness, shame, and continues to eliminate the shame and builds on the work of the heal. But it also heals our love addiction, and it breaks us of the codependent fantasy. Okay, so that's step 2 in that. So you would need both those steps to actually get back into connection with yourself. And that's also how you stop tearing yourself apart. Tearing ourselves down does not correct our behavior. It does not make anything better. We have the right to make mistakes. Okay, so we get back to this first thing called personal autonomy we talked about last week, with the right to say no, knowing your no. Your first process in that is to discover and embrace your personal autonomy. Part of that is the right to make mistakes. So I usually explain the 2 rights: the right to occupy space, the right not to care. You can add a third right to it: the right to make mistakes. I mean, I made several mistakes today, several. I'm still alive. I just checked, right? We're okay. We have a right to make mistakes. So we don't have to tear ourselves down. What we do is we celebrate our discovery, and we give ourselves permission not to feel shame about it. Yeah, we can be disappointed in what we did, but generally the majority of our mistakes, guys, doesn't even warrant that. It's just like, yeah, well, whoops, burned the pizza, darn. Our mistakes aren't fatal. They're not killing people. They're not even harming people. One of the biggest things that we've had to deal with because of the narcissist is this amplification of mistakes, where their whole world has just exploded because you made a mistake. Ooh, oh my word, it's so severe. No, it's not. You got to realize that the narcissistic abusive person amplified that because they're a child. They're acting like 3-year-olds. What do we do with 3-year-olds? We don't bend to them. We're like, no, you grow up. This is how it is. That's the consequence. Mistakes happen. We can empathize with the pain, but none of this is fatal. They make mistakes all the time. We don't have to beat ourselves up for it. It's an unnecessary act. It's just like, yeah, I made my mistake. What did I learn from it? Cool. What do I do now? What do I want to do differently in the future? I'll try this out. Okay. Boom. There you go. It's not that big a deal. So, and it really is. I'm not saying that as to gaslight or diminish your experience, because I get the anxiety, because I, lived under that for 10 years. And so I get the fear that comes in with making a mistake because of how they punished us for mistakes. Guys, we didn't even deserve the punishment. Being punished for a mistake, being punished for doing something that's natural. No, that's just not not healthy, not rational. Yeah, I made a mistake. Oh, okay, it affected me this way. Oh, I'm sorry. Here's what I'll do differently. Okay, cool. That's normal. That's healthy. It's like, bro, you made a mistake. My world's blah, blah, blah. No. Now, when you have someone that blows up on you for a mistake like that, that's a red flag. That's your big signal to like walk. Okay. All right. So let's see here. How do I stop my automatic self-comparison to every other woman I see? This is about value. Because value, and for a lot of people, not just us codependents, but value is externalized. So we think that there is an ideal that we need to conform to be valuable, to be loved, to be kept, right? No. And this is hard. This is a massive challenge that almost every single human being undergoes. So this isn't just unique to us, but it's actually pretty universal in the human experience. Is to realize and have the courage to embrace our value and our difference. To realize that our existence and the difference, the uniqueness of it is extremely valuable and important. And then we can stop comparing and we can start praising and appreciating both our goodness and theirs. See, when we're grateful for our goodness, our difference, our beauty, our brilliance, and theirs, we're building inclusiveness. We're neutralizing that sense of separation because of difference, and we are equalizing, becoming equals. We see that we belong and are equal with them too. That's a big deal. That takes practice. You combine that with the work in Get Closure Now, healing trauma, and with the structured healing you find in codependency confidence and eliminating that codependency, this will become a lot easier for you. All right. So the trick to stopping the automatic component is to witness the automatic component. You're not going to stop the automaticness. What you're going to do is you're going to create a different habit out of the habit that you have running automatically. So your habit is to compare. When you compare, you're going to use that as a trigger to start a different habit. So like when I have found myself comparing me to other men, and I have a habit that goes, and I belong too. Oh, look, they're really tall and handsome, and I belong too. Oh, they're getting a woman's attention, and I belong too. I get that too. See, it creates that inclusiveness and that equality. That's the goal. So you use it to trigger that new habit rather than try to eliminate it, because your brain it does not work that way. It cannot eliminate something while focusing on it. That's why no's don't work. That's why eliminating things doesn't work. That's why we just got to alter it to something that actually functions better for your desire. Okay. So how can I let go of what negative things have been programmed into my head and repeat randomly? The same thing we were just talking about. You create a different habit in its place. You use the old pattern or negativity to trigger the positive pattern. You move forward and emphasize, praise, and appreciate that. Anything you make pleasurable to your brain, the brain will do more of, because your brain has one job, and that's to keep you alive, and it does that in two ways. Makes you run from fear, makes you run towards pleasure. So let's just give it something that feels good. Like, yeah, I really did a great job there. And you allow yourself to feel that goodness with it. Give yourself permission to feel that confidence and that uplift. Your brain's going to want to do more of that because it feels good. Okay. So, hi, Jen. Now, if you're watching this, let's see if I got any comments here. Nope. Just let me know, guys. I really love comments. I like feedback. It'll hit like. If you're on YouTube, hit like there. Comment below. If you're on Facebook, do the same thing. All right. Okay, so how can I stop this from ruining and affecting everything? Well, you got healing to do. You've got growth to do. You've got discovery to do. And it's going to come through the form of structured paced healing that you get in Codependency Confidence. Getting closure in your trauma through the Get Closure Now trainings. And being very, very consistent, guys. Consistency is the key to all of this. Being consistent in how you execute the tools and the practices and all of that. Now, even just with the tool I've given you right now to attach a positive habit to the negative trigger, that can change your life, but you got to be persistent with it, and you got to believe it, right? belief goes an enormously long way in creating real structure change in the brain, because once it believes it's real, it is real to the brain, that's going to react to it that way. So that's one, that's an important thing to do there. All right, so how can I put a halt onto emotional eating that I've recently started to do to cope with all this? You need to eliminate the pain so you don't need to cope. I'll say that again. Eliminate the pain so you don't need to cope. That's what you got to do there. And that pain is your shame. Shame about the shame you believe is true about who you are. I'll say that again. The shame you believe that is true about who you are. You think the shame is right. What if the shame is wrong? What else is possible then? Right? What if you stop making yourself wrong for your needs? What if you stop making yourself wrong for your pain? What if you stop making yourself wrong for what you think is insecurity, when really all it is all insecurity is, guys, is a fear of vulnerability. Okay? It's a fear of being seen as weak. And dealing with narcissistic people, yeah, vulnerability be seen as weak, but it isn't. Vulnerability is the means to connection, to vitality. Okay? So that's that question to that one. And then question number 7, how do I stand up for myself and not feel the shame and doubt of others' actions? Well, standing up for ourselves is an action, boom. And then we have an emotional reaction to our action, right? One, if you're feeling shame, then you either need to use the shame clearing process, you need to look at trauma-based conditioning on that, okay? So we got to release on any trauma, but definitely have to release on the shame. But we also have to open up to praising us for standing up. We have a right to stand up for ourselves. That's, again, personal autonomy. Your yard, their yard. And we can stop putting them on a pedestal, because this is where we start to doubt our actions or doubt things, is because we make them special in some way. That somehow they know something better than we do. They're an authority. They're right, I'm wrong, that kind of thing. No. We stop playing that game. We put ourselves on equal footing with them and go, I didn't like how that happened. I didn't like how I really felt about that. Because if you're feeling shame about standing up for yourself, you're programmed to feel that. Because that's not an actual result for standing up for yourself. The real result is confidence. And so a lot of times we feel shame for standing up for ourselves because we think we hurt somebody else. Guess what? Standing up for ourselves will hurt. Other people will feel hurt by us standing up for ourselves if they have a problem with boundaries. They think they're entitled to something from you. Okay? So shame has no actual role in this, but we can use a shame clearing from heal to eliminate that, or get in there, eliminate some of that trauma. But we can also give ourselves permission not to care. Yeah. Actually find out what you really feel about standing up for yourself by listening. It's like, start for myself, how did I feel doing that? Was it felt good? It might have been scary and there might have been shame, but what else was there? Get in touch with what was really there for you. Because I stood up for myself earlier today, I felt no shame at all. And I'm like, yeah, that has to change. Next time you change your mind, you don't tell me, this is what we get. You get a problem. So next time, please inform me about that so we don't have this. And they're like, oh, yeah. I'm like, thank you. So, yeah, how do I stand up for myself and not feel ashamed? You let go of the requirement to feel shame. You clear on it. Give yourself permission to have the valid experience of your feelings. You validate, appreciate, and authorize yourself. You give yourself authority to stand up for yourself. And you let other people take care of their feelings. Okay? People are adults. If you're dealing with a child, then you can help them understand and regulate their feelings. With adults, it's like, have a great day. I hope you work that out. We're not here to baby people. They need to grow up and take care of themselves. Okay, that is all our questions for today. I appreciate you guys. I am grateful you are here. Thank you for showing up again in the community, for sharing your questions, for supporting each other. I know many of you reach out to me privately and express your gratitude for how the group is growing and how it works. Thank you for seeing us. Thank you for letting me know those things. And if you're a lurker, I'm glad you're here too. I get it. Most of us are introverts. We don't want to really be exposed. But do feel free to ask your questions. Share your story and experience, because it'll contribute both to yourself and others in helping us get comfortable being seen and being valued for who we are. Okay? So tomorrow or later tonight, we'll have a training on what trauma is, because Get Closure Now is open for enrollment. Enrollment closes July 28th. Class starts July 29th. There's 3 specific things we accomplish in Get Closure Now. Thing number 1 is I teach you how to regulate your nervous system. What that means is I teach you how to calm yourself down in a way that is profoundly simple and easy and helps you get more comfortable in being safe in life. Second thing I teach you is the closure technique. I teach you how it works, and then I lead you through it with a one-on-one session with me. We target a specific trauma, and then you find relief closure on that. Third thing I teach you is the mindset mastery you need to have in place so that you can grow your life post-trauma closure, right? So that's what you get in a 6-week training. You can apply by going to www.healyourtraumanow.com and applying for your spot. Then we'll have a short one-on-one call with me to make sure that this is the appropriate course for you and where you're at, and then we'll get you set up. Now, again, guys, if money's a concern, I have a system called income aware pricing. So pricing is dependent on your income, so you'd be surprised what you can get in with this model, okay? So again, I appreciate you guys. You have a great evening. We'll talk to you later. Have a good night, guys. Bye-bye.